Hey friends, how are you? How are you? If you're out there today, just get into this live session with me. Friends, I have some very exciting things to go over with you today. Let me know who's watching. Tell me your name. Tell me that where you're from. As usual, you guys know the drill. I'm attorney Latoya McBean Pompey. I'm an immigration lawyer. Hi, I see that Kadian is on. Hi, Kadian. You're the first. You're the first. Guys, I have some very exciting things to share with you in this live session. Okay, I'm in the middle of my very busy work day, and I said, let me get in front of you guys and go over some things with you because it's important for you guys to know what's going on. And so USCIS just issued its reopening procedures. They're going to reopen on June 4th. And so I'm going to go through some of the key things that you guys need to know as the government prepares to reopen its offices within a matter of days. That's number one. And number two, I'm going to talk with you about some issues facing their that they're facing that will impact you and your family's petition as well. So those are some of the things that I'm going to talk about. I'm going to share my screen with you shortly, and we're going to go through some things. But before I dive right in, I just want to kind of see who's on. Okay, and I see Starboy is on from Nevada or Nevada, right? It depends on where you're from, right? Nevada or Nevada. Thank you, Ivanka. Thanks for watching from Miami. Good to see you. Alexi, is USCIS closing? No, they are not closing. In fact, they are reopening. So I'm going to talk with you guys about what to expect as they reopen. Lisa is watching from Jamaica. Nice to see you. Nice to see you. Geraldine. Geraldine is watching from Ypsilanti, Michigan. A Michigander is on. Nice to have you. Okay, so hi, Young. It's good to see you as well. Okay, so let's go into the latest, guys. This isn't going to be a very long video. Or a long session, I should say. So first things first, you guys, how many of you have seen my video about the USCIS bailout requests? Okay, USCIS just about a week ago asked Congress for $1.2 billion in bailout funds. Why? Because they're saying they cannot make it through the summer unless they get some money from Congress. Okay, because the filing fees are not cutting it for them anymore. Now, friends, remember I did share with you that they are covered. That agency is funded primarily from filing fees, which we know are high. But what's happening now, because of all of the Trump policies and coronavirus closings and everything, the agency is reporting that, what I saw today actually, that between 2017 and 2019, they processed 900,000 fewer applications or petitions than before. And so if they're processing less petitions, obviously that means less filing fees. So they're strapped for cash. So that's old news. The new news, the new news is this. They spoke to their unions. They went to the unions and they told the unions that, listen, we may have to furlough some of the staff if we don't get this bailout from Congress. So they're talking about possibly furloughing their staff, which means that they're going to temporarily laying them off, right? They'll be temporarily laid off and brought back once the money is there to support them. And so that's the threat that USCIS has before Congress now, saying that, hey, we may have to furlough our people. So friends, if that does happen, you guys know what that means, right? As I've mentioned before, it means fewer bodies, fewer people will be processing these applications and petitions. So that could be an issue, right? that can be an issue. Julietta is watching from St. Lucia. Nice to have you on, Julietta. Thank you for saying that, Amatia, that my information is fruitful. I hope so. I hope that you could use it. So the information that I'm sharing with you now, how useful is this to you? It's useful to you because now you know what you're up against if you are going through a petition process with USCIS. They are experiencing money problems, and they're talking about furloughing their staff, some of their staff. And so that will definitely have a direct impact on your application and your petitions. And you need to be aware of that. And so for going forward, if you have not filed, friends, as I've always been saying to you guys, it's not helpful to keep waiting and waiting and waiting. You really need to get your stuff prepared and filed sooner rather than later, because, the process is not getting easier. And now with the agency having its budget problems, its money problems, it's only going to make the situation a bit more difficult for you or your family. So just file, get your stuff together, work with us or another lawyer, and just do what you've got to do, because this is a very serious time that we're in right now, as this agency is facing its money problems. Some people are making the argument that they don't deserve this money. They don't deserve to be bailed out because their services are bad, number one, right? If you agree with that, just give me some hearts and let me know in the comments you agree with that. They need to get their act together before we give them taxpayer dollars to bail them out, right? And I see some hearts. You agree. The service is awful. Service is not great. And so that's the other side of the argument, okay? So the other thing is, as I've mentioned, they are also looking to increase application fees by 10%. They want to add 10% surcharge to reimburse taxpayers for this bailout. So so folks who are going to be filing down the road will definitely feel this if they do in fact increase the fees by 10%. So okay, so that's what's going on. USCIS is saying to the unions and to their people, their staff, that listen, we may have to furlough some of you during the summer or some, over the next few months if we don't get this money. Now, the other part of that issue is that they are hoping that when Congress gets back in session next week, that they will attach this bailout request to the stimulus talks, because as you guys know, negotiations will resume next week around stimulus and another stimulus check, and stimulus relief to businesses and others and individuals. So USCIS is trying to dive into those stimulus talks right now to make sure that they put their need on the table. So I'll keep you guys posted on that. So let's switch gears now to the other exciting news that I do want to share with you guys about USCIS reopening. So USCIS is reopening. Thank you for saying that, Sheldon. I appreciate that. Vent, great to see you again as usual. Awesome. So here's the thing. USCIS is preparing to reopen on June 4th. Okay. And about an hour ago, they sent an email with outlining new procedures related to their reopening. So that's really what I want to now shift gears to. Guys. Okay, I want to shift gears and talk about what you should expect now that they're going to reopen in several days, really, June 4th. So I'm going to share my screen with you, and I'm going to take you guys to their website. And when you go to their website right now, friends, what you're going to see is this notice saying that, talking about new procedures relating to coronavirus, COVID-19, and how you guys are to interact with their offices going forward. Okay, and so the first thing they say is visitors cannot enter their building if they have any symptoms of COVID-19, including coughing, fever, or difficulty breathing. If the individual has been in close contact with anyone known or suspected to have COVID-19 in the last 14 days, or they have been individually directed to self-quarantine, okay? If they've been directed to do so by a healthcare provider or official within the last 14 days. So that's the general, everyone is following this procedure, right? That's very general. But here's some specific things that USCIS is saying concerning its visitors to its buildings, their buildings. So visitors cannot enter the building more than 15 minutes before your appointment. Okay, and if it's for a naturalization ceremony, it's 30 minutes. And they will have hand sanitizers right there for everybody to, use as you enter the building. That's one thing. Also important to know is that you must wear a facial covering, some sort of mask or scarf or something like that while you're inside their facility. Okay, and if you do not have your mask with you guys, they say that the notice says USCIS may provide one to you, okay, or you will be asked to reschedule. So some offices, apparently they're going to have some mask on site to give to those who are not, who did not bring a mask that day, or they may ask you to just reschedule the appointment. Now, let's see, what else does this say? There will be mark-ins. Okay, so they're going to have, they're going to have mark-ins and physical barriers in the facility. So, you guys will know where to stand, right? 6 feet apart and all of that. So they're going to have physical mark-ins and signs throughout their facility so that you guys can practice, so that we all can practice social distancing. The other thing that they say that they're going to do is individuals may also have to answer health screening questions before going into the building. So they may ask questions regarding your health, how you've been feeling, whether you have a fever. Now, I don't think, it doesn't say here that they're actually going to be testing anyone to see whether anyone has a fever or anything like that. No, they merely say that they may ask health screening questions before you get into the building. So be prepared for that. And then also, guys, they want you to bring your own pens. Bring your own pens. No sharing of pens at their facility. Bring your own pens. Okay, so these are the COVID-19 procedures that they want you guys to be aware of. Now, let's talk about specifically what's going to happen now. Let's do this. Okay, what's going to happen now when you go there for your interview or naturalization ceremony and all of that? Well, let's see. Let's scroll down. So the first thing that you guys should be aware of is and I'm not going to read all of this, so don't worry about that. I'm just going to hit the highlights for you. The first thing is asylum procedure. For those who are going in for asylum interviews, you should be aware of that. Actually, they're going to do the asylum interviews via video. It's going to be video interviews. Okay. It says here, because in accordance with social distancing guidelines, and due to the length of asylum interviews, guys, if you've ever been on an asylum interview, they can be very long. Okay. So they're saying that they will conduct video facilitated asylum interviews, which is a great idea. I like that, where the applicants sit in one room and the interviewing officer sits in the other room. So that's good. Asylum offices will use available technology, including mobile devices provided by the agency, to ensure that their officer, the applicants, and everyone else who's there can safely participate in the interview while maintaining social distancing. So this is a good one, guys. Video interviews. I like that. And so they're also saying here that you can't bring everyone. You cannot bring everyone with you to this interview. They're trying to limit the number of people in their buildings on a given moment, at any given moment. So what they're saying here is that if you're going in for an asylum interview, you could only bring your immediate family members who are listed as dependents on the application, and you can bring your interpreter if you do not speak English, okay? And then additionally, you can bring a representative, your witness, obviously your representative being your lawyer, most likely, your lawyer, that's what they really mean by that. Or if you're represented by some nonprofit organization, a representative from that organization can be there with you. And if you're disabled and you need accommodations, you can bring someone who's helping you to provide accommodations or helping you to get around, right? And also a trusted adult if it's in the case of a child or a minor. So those are the only individuals who can show up with you on the day of your interview. Do not bring a partner just to provide moral support to you, and that partner is not a witness who will be interviewed, or he's not a representative. That individual can stay in the parking lot in the car. The only ones who can be there are those who are listed as dependent on your application, your interpreter, your lawyer or representative, your witness, or if you need accommodations, the person who's helping you, or if you're a child, you have to bring a trusted adult, okay? Now, let's jump down to the naturalization ceremonies, because a whole lot of people are waiting to be sworn in. And so what USCIS is saying here is that they're going to send notices to reschedule. Obviously, you know that we've already talked about that. For those interviews that have been postponed or can't postponed, you're going to get a notice with a new date on it. So naturalization ceremony is one of those dates. So they're going to do the ceremony, guys, slightly differently than how they normally do it. They're saying that the ceremony may be shorter, and instead of them playing videos during the ceremony, attendees are gonna get a flyer with information and links to the videos. So basically, they're just gonna shorten it, okay? And attendance is also limited to the candidate for naturalization and an individual who is providing assistance to you if you need, if you have a disability, okay? So that's naturalization ceremonies. And then the last big category that you should be aware of is with, two more sections. The next one is with regard to interviews, general interviews for like green card interviews. Okay, so they're going to send you guys a notice with your new appointment date. And then let's see, what else does it say here that's important for you guys to know? Okay, you're limited to bring in only yourself, bring a lawyer or a representative, one family member, and one individual who is providing disability accommodations. And you could have your interpreter, it says, guys, listen to this one. The applicant should arrange to have their interpreter available by phone. So this is different than asylum. Asylum, you can bring your interpreter there, right? You could bring your interpreter physically with you to that interview, the asylum interview. But for all other types of interview, USCIS is instructing on its website that you should bring your interpreter. You have your interpreter available only by phone. Now, let's jump down to application support centers where folks normally go to do biometrics, fingerprinting, and such. What they're saying here is that USCIS will automatically reschedule those appointments, and you're going to receive a new appointment letter in the mail with additional safety requirements. So they're going to outline that for you guys in that biometrics letter. And it says here, individuals who appear at a date or time other than what is listed in their appointment notice may encounter significant processing delays, except military folks, okay? So if you show up to one of these ASC offices and you don't have an appointment that day, you're going to experience significant processing delays, okay? So go on their website, uscis.gov. They probably love me, right? Because I'm here sharing their information with you guys. I'm spreading the word. I'm like their public relations officer right now. But this is important for you guys to know because they're opening up on June 4th, okay? opening up on June 4th, and these procedures are these procedures are here for you to follow. You don't want any delays in your case, so make sure you take a look at their website. Go on USCIS.gov, take a look at this press release, and be sure to review it before your interview so that you're not going there and, experiencing significant delays from them. So in summary, guys, what I've shared with you in this video is with respect to USCIS threatening to cut some of their staff, or furloughing their staff, I should say, because of their money problems, and that will directly impact case processing. And then secondly, we just went through all of those procedures that they have in place to reopen on June 4th. And so one thing you should expect is this. Because they want to have fewer people in their buildings at any given moment, I think that they're going to have, obviously there's a backlog developing, particularly for those who are going in for an interview. So just be patient as they roll out their letters to reschedule your appointment, because I'm pretty sure they don't want a whole lot of people in their buildings the way that they did prior to coronavirus. So that's the latest information that I'm sharing with you guys today. Oops, let's do this. Let's get this back up here so that you guys know how to contact me. Okay, so let's see. Let's scroll through here. Thank you for that. Always keeping you updated. I'm trying my best. But yeah, thank God. Yeah, they're opening and they're trying to take measures like everyone else to keep us safe. Thank you for that, Gilinavo. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate it. Fiona, thank you so much for that. Guys, I'm going to get back to work. I have a long evening of work ahead of me, but I wanted to get this information before you as soon as possible. So yeah, good news, USCIS reopening June 4th. And yeah, let's get your cases moving. Give my office a call if you guys want to get on my calendar to speak to me. My number is in this video, 718-301-9732. And be patient as you get on my calendar. But thank you guys so much for participating in today's session, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.